Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Everyday EDC. My name is Tyler, and today we have a review for you. This is a gold class review, which, if any of you remember, gold class typically lies between my $150 and $300 price range. Just as kind of like I'm doing the blue class up to $150. I should do a budget class. I could do a white class or a blue class up to $75. White class from 75. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm probably messed up. Anyways, this is a gold class. It lies in between the $150 and $300 range. And your review for the day is the Tuya NV2. Alright guys, so the Tuya NV2. This was lent into the channel by Ryan, so thank you Ryan for lending this in. And there's something kind of unique about this. I think this is a custom anno, so I don't think they come in this color. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that knows this, but I've only seen it in the grayscale. But second, this knife is like, it holds such a presence that Ryan, before he sent it to me, goes, look, dude, I don't even want to carry this thing. I love it that much. It's so beautiful. And you could tell it's been carried by its previous owner before Ryan. I mean, it's got some snail trails. There's some markings on the pivot screw, and so somebody carried this, but there's still a presence about this that makes you want to reserve carrying it. It's that nice, even though you've known someone already broke it in for you. So without further ado, this is the Tuya NV2. So, right off the bat here, let's talk about this blade. Sorry if it keeps chopping in and out. I'm trying to clear like the throat and stuff. It's gross in the background. So this is a drop point combo style blade with a hollow grind running the belly or the flat, and then you have a flat grind coming up to the tip to add some strength to the tip. Now, isn't that cool? Is that not freaking awesome? And the idea of slicing here versus kind of carrying some strength to the tip, it's just really well thought out and methodically planned to the point where it's not just like this Tonto that has all these crazy combo grinds on it. Like, this is so functional. That's one of the selling points. This thing's just functional. It's awesome. You have a swedge that carries on down here, and it is a little sharp on the edges. I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't knocked down, but it is a satin finish, so there's nothing really to knock it down with. Here is the designer's emblem, and on this side, all you have is the blade steel, which, if I'm not mistaken, was that M390? Yeah, M390. This is on ceramic bearings, and it has this very comfortable thumb ramp with what seems to be mild jimping, and it feels like mild jimping on your thumb, but then you rake it like to feel how rough it feels, and it feels freaking rough, but it's comfortable in hand. It's just weird the way it's done. It just, once again, feels great. So you have this sharpening choil right here, which you can almost get away with kind of doing this choke up thing that you do on the Civivi Elementum. I don't recommend it, and it's not comfortable. You don't need to. This is comfortable. So getting on down towards the scales and the handle here, this is a contoured titanium. It's hard to tell. It's just slightly contoured, but it feels really, really good. There's contouring, and then instead of chamfering, there is light chamfering all around the edges, but with these milled lines, let's see if we can pick it up. There you go. These milled lines right here, it's almost scalloped all along the way right there, and then it's scalloped all through here. And it creates such a better feel in hand. That scalloping really adds to the contour feel. And guys, I mean, I'm gonna get into some wants later on, but this thing kind of just melts in your hand as far as ergonomics. Now, I'm not gonna say that it's better than like my Malice or something like that, but my Malice is also a freaking pocket tank, and this thing is not. So there's the difference there, right? So we do have a pocket clip here, and it does carry the same milling lines as the scalloping areas on the other sides. As I said, titanium frame lock with a stainless steel insert right here for an over travel stop. Back on the back side here, we have a titanium backspacer with a lanyard hole right here. There is a lot of milling on the inside of this, and let me chop this video up and find my freaking flashlight. Okay, let's take a look at this milling on the inside there. Try to get you guys the best. There you go. Come on. There it is. And it's the same thing on the other side, which I'm struggling to get in camera. But there's a ton of milling on that titanium on the inside, which is great. Alrighty. So the frame lock feels really good. It's really light. There is no up and down, no back and forth. And this thing is perfectly centered. Wow. That is just nice. And I said, wow, I was going to take a stab at Ryan, and I made the decision not to because I feel like I poked too much fun at him for his off-center knives that he sends me all the time. But this here is a T8, 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 T8. It's actually really nice. Everything on this knife is T8. This is a right hand only carry pocket clip, and it is a flipper. So here you can see the flipper tab. It does stick out quite a bit, and I think it's kind of necessary because of the positioning and your hand relative to the frame lock, and I'm not catching on the frame lock, but I think it's necessary to do that, and you have no problems. The action on this feels buttery smooth, guys. Frictionless action. I don't feel it at all. All right, let's get you guys some size comparisons. Now, what I'm going to do with my size comparisons going forward is I was always keeping the same size comparison knives, but because my collection is ever changing, I thought it would be fun to kind of every now and then throw in some goofier ones that you guys can see, just some cooler knives that kind of change it up. Maybe it'll be something like, hey, what's he going to show today? I will always try to keep certain ones so that you have a good size reference that you're consistent with, though. So, to start off with, and I'm doing the size references before. You don't get to see these yet. I gotta go back and do some specs. Going outside of what I do. This is stupid. Dumb. Alrighty. So the overall weight of the Tuya NV2 is coming in at a 3.87 ounces. So it's just shy of 4 ounces, and that's a good thing. Most people try to say that anything under 4 ounces is lightweight, anything under 3 ounces is ultra lightweight, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so this knife's coming in at just about 7 3/4 inches, and the blade length itself is coming in at, I should have done this from the other way. Once again, dumb. All right. The blade length is coming in at just about 3 1/4, and the cutting edge is, just about 3 1/4 as well. All right, let's get your blade stock thickness of this Tuya NV2. Blade stock thickness is coming in at about 155 thousandths, which is cool because it's nice and thick and sturdy, but the behind the edge on the hollow grind is coming in at a whopping 15 ounces, or 15 thousandths. What? Holy smokes. At some points it's coming down to 12 thousandths. And then as you get up towards the tip, it gets all the way up to 25, 30 thousandths. Talk about extremely functional combo grind. Yeah, it's not just like a 20 thousandths and a 23 thousandths around the tip. No, they made this thing functional as hell. One is definitely better at slicing than the other, and the other is definitely more robust. And as you can see, this tip is pretty damn robust. Damn. It's the way the light's shining on there. I'm like, what the hell? That thing is way fatter in the camera. All right, let's check the overall thickness. Got to be careful. Let's not scratch it. The overall thickness is coming in right at 1/2 inch. As you can see, I didn't want to spend too much time on that because I don't want to scratch the belly there. All right, so the overall height is coming in at 1.15 or 1 inch and 15 thousandths. So it's going to be a relatively narrow It's going to be, I mean, for contoured scales coming in at 1/2 inch, I mean, that's relatively standard. It's not bad. And it's not going to be a pocket hog by any means. So, with that being said, let us get to some size comparisons so that you guys can now see how large this is. This is your CJRB Feldspar. This is your CJRB Tigris. Those of you that watch the channel a lot, you're going to know that the Tigris isn't typically in my lineup, but it's kind of fun to show. As you can see, the Tigris would be decimating in length if it wasn't for that backspacer thing. So if you're going off of that, it's not much shorter than the Tigris. The backspacer thing is just like, I don't know if that's supposed to be a glass breaker or something. I got to look into that. But it just hangs off the edge. It's like they forgot to finish. All right. Here is your Rat Model 1. Obviously coming in at a little bit longer. And your Rat Model 2 obviously coming in at a little bit shorter. Here we have your Civivi Elementum. And your Civivi 8010. Womp womp. Just kidding, not Civivi. But I just wanted to get this guy out. I forgot I had him. He's pretty freaking cool. That's the knife that bit me when it first came out of it. As you can see, much smaller than the 8010. And obviously larger than the Civivi Elementum. Last but not least, for your viewing pleasure, we have what I think is the Spyderco Dragonfly, maybe? Man-Bug? Something like that? I don't know. And we have your Spyderco Spidey Chef. So the Spidey Chef and this are just about the same length, and in fact, they're just about the same price as well. I don't know that these are worthy of a comparison battle, and they're not, because I'm going to send this one back tomorrow, but I mean, being in the same price range, maybe, but I don't think you would be torn over one or the other. I think you're going to know which one just by looking at them. All right, so as a quick recap before I give my overall thoughts, this is a combo drop point blade. Very, very cool. And as you can see, it's a hollow grind going along the belly into a much larger behind the edge when it comes to the tip. This is going to add for a very robust tip, and as this comes down, it's a little chamfered, not much, but then we have some swedge going on down there to carry out more length and strength to the blade. We have a thumb ramp that goes on here that actually is super, super comfortable and super grippy. This is an M390 blade with some contoured titanium scales. These are normally gray. I believe somebody did this themselves. I see hints of gray in there, but it's a pretty good job. This is a titanium frame lock with massive milling on the inside, creating this thing to be under 4 ounces, and they did such a good job there. This has ceramic ball bearings, and it is working on... Yeah, I was like, wait a second. It has a stop pin. There is a stainless steel titanium lock bar with the ball bearing pivot and over travel stop. Not lock bar, but over travel stop on the lock bar. And last but not least, there is a titanium backspacer with a lanyard hole. TA hardware all around. All around a very, very, very cool knife. So what are my likes? First and foremost, the way this thing kind of melts into your hand, it feels really, really good. I really do like that quite a bit. I think that the way that this flares out here, but it's contoured just... Yeah, it feels really good, and you're locked in oh so well. Second, I really, really like the action. I think this action is phenomenal. It's smooth, and it feels kind of on a different level. For example, this is my wee Suga, and I can feel that. I'm not saying the action's worse. I can just feel it. It's not quite frictionless, but maybe I haven't broke it in yet. But this guy, now this guy's what I would call frictionless. This guy's cool. Doesn't mean it's drop shot. Well, there it goes. But it's pretty darn good. Third, I really love this blade. M390, thank you. Combo drop point style. It's not even a combo Tonto. They didn't go the Tonto route. They just made it drop point. And the behind the edge, guys, 13 thousandths and then all the way up to 25 to 30 thousandths on the tip. Talk about function. This was designed to do exactly what it was designed to do. Like, I know it's a redundant statement, but how often do we get like the combo or the Tontos with a different grind at the tip that only add like 100 or 200 thousandths, or 1 or 2 thousandths rather. This is just great. What are my dislikes? I really don't have any. I really don't have any dislikes about this knife. But what I'm going to start doing with the knives that I review, I'm going to tell you wants. Now, dislikes and wants are not the same thing. If I dislike something, that means that I think it's bad, right? But if I want something, I really like this knife, or I really like an aspect about it, but I wish it was this. And in this knife, what do I want with the Tuya NV2? And this actually inspired me to start this, and I love the idea of it. What do I want? With the Tuya NV2, I would like a model that is maybe a 1/4 of an inch longer. Why? Because I want just a little bit more room on this handle. I don't want a lot. It'll be a little more uncomfortable if I do a lot, but a little bit more, I think it's going to fill my hand so well. And I got narrow fingers, but long, long hands. So it's kind of like I wear like an XL glove, but my fingers kind of float because they're narrow. That's the size. This feels good, but I think it would feel even better if it was a 1/4 of an inch longer to give you a little bit more room on that handle. Again, not a dislike, because I still think the ergos are good, but it's a want. I didn't really talk to you guys about the price. I think this thing's a little hard to get. Go on Tuya Knives, kind of Google Tuya Knives. You should be able to at least find the website. But I mean, I don't think they're not making them anymore. It's just they're kind of difficult to get because it's a smaller maker. These things are coming in about $230. Do I think it's worth it? Definitely. I mean, all the milling that's going on here, the contour titanium, the milling on the inside, the frictionless feel, and then everything going on with that combo style blade. I think that's almost a bargain at $230 by comparison of what the industry standard goes for and what you can get for $230 around the rest of the industry, right? I think this is kind of a bargain at that point. But other than that, my name is Tyler. This has been Everyday EDC. This is the Tuya NV2. Thank you so much, Ryan, for lending this into the channel. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great freaking day, guys. Hey guys, listed as my Patreon, my Instagram, and a special shout out to all the Patrons: John, Sammy, Eggs and Ham, Jason M, Dogtooth, Kaiba, Mickey, Wolf, and Captain Steve. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Tyler. This is Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe, and have a great freaking day.